You're watching Ladies in the Locker Room. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's going on, Lindsay?
Hi, not much. How are you?
I don't know, not much. It seems like everybody's busy, 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 busy.
That's true.
I am too, but busy is good.
Yeah, just wrapped up shooting, filming for a play, and just doing in person improv and stand up and that type of stuff. So that's been really exciting to do in person, just because the feedback is so much better. Just hearing
Ah.
laughs and like kind of like having people in the audience again that aren't virtual and silent has been very nice. What about you? Yeah,
That's
right.
well, that sounds fun. I like improv as well. I don't do any right now because I just have a lot of other stuff I'm doing, so I don't do it. But I have done it before, and I do like the in person and the fun and the funny and the laughter and the talk
Right.
back.
Right? No, it's sometimes like we've had like some really good audiences, and then one week like it was we didn't have very as many people there, and it wasn't as much feedback, and we're like, oh my gosh, like we're so used to that now because we've been doing it for
Right.
a couple months now, but we're like it's back to like almost virtual, like when there's like you don't have anybody to feed off of, and it's like so like you get in your head too, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm used to that, like.
Yeah.
And then I do like still virtual improv as well, so and when I have that, it's like you don't hear any laughs at all because everybody,
Oh.
yeah, well, because everybody's like the audience isn't can't hear them, so you don't hear anything, so you're like, I don't even know if that's funny or not until somebody says, actually what you did was funny,
It's
and
kind
we're
of
like,
funny, right?
oh, well, I didn't know at the time. So but it's nice, it's good to
Okay.
have a mix of both, actually. Like I feel like during the pandemic, like virtual took off so much, and that was a good thing
Yeah.
because it kind of gave us another space to work in like this.
Right, right.
So I like keeping that, but
You like the
and so I don't
live.
want to give that up, but I like the live as well. So it's a good like hybrid type of situation now.
Okay, well that's cool. With me, just kind of working on everything. A lot of things shut down, of course, pre-pandemic. So now a lot of things are kind of picking back up.
Yeah.
There's a short film that I was working on. So I'm working on trying to get that back up and running because we were actually moving, had a great cast. I mean, it was really doing really well. So I'm looking at getting that back up and going. In the meantime, during the pandemic, I wrote a short film and just working on the casting on that. I have most of the cast. I just got to get one more actor, and I'm
No.
going to be shooting that as well. And networking with some of my fellow filmmakers in the industry and doing what I can do to try to make what I do a little bit better. So a lot of that, I'm saying I'm doing a lot
Nice.
of that. And actually here in Atlanta, too bad you're not here.
Mhm.
I have a networking event coming on at the end of the month, the last Wednesday of this month, of the month of October. I'm having a networking event where I will be meeting with other writers, directors, actors, producers. I mean, content creators. I'm really working on attempting to bring us all back together. Because that's something we had done once before. I used to do it a long time ago. A great way to get business and a great way to find out who has what going on and who has what needs. So I'll be having that at the Lux on Whitehall Street here in Atlanta. And it's going to be from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. As I said, the last Wednesday of the month. And I'm
Well,
working on that.
that's
I'm
that's
working
awesome.
on
I mean, in this like industry, especially, networking is so important,
very important.
even more so than in any other industry I think I've ever been in, because that's where you basically get your next audition. That's where you get your next
Your next
opportunity, and that's basically with
exactly,
me. Like,
exactly. And it's crazy because it is exactly how I started my company here in Atlanta. And I tell people about that all the time. Helping other filmmakers and networking is exactly how I got started here in Atlanta. And prior to that, when I got here, I didn't know anybody. So I just started networking with other people and meeting other people. Then I created a networking event that became really popular. After a while, it was so many, there was a lot of them. So I kind of shut it down. So now I'm just kind of going back to basics as far as that's concerned. So if you're here in the Atlanta area, last Wednesday of the month, we'll be at Whitehall Street at the Lux. And I wanted to see if I could show you. Let me see if I could share this. You know, me and this sharing stuff. We have a moment. You know, we have a little
So
situation
true.
going on every now and then. No, I'm gonna leave that alone because well, let me see if I can share the screen. And where's that? No, because it's sharing me everything, and I really just wanted to share that. Um, no, we're gonna unshare that because cancel. I'll have to put because I made a nice little flyer, and I will have to do that, show that the next time. But other than that, we're going to take our first commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what's going on in sports in your town and my town. So we'll talk about that when we come back. We'll be right back.
Hello, guys. My name is Gloria. I am an instructor at LA Fitness Atlantic Station. I teach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Saturdays we hike. We go to a different location. Our classes are 5:45 at Atlantic Station. There's kickboxing, there's body work, there's power circuit, everything you can imagine. And then we hike. We hike Kennesaw, Stone Mountain, the Palisades. We go everywhere. Come out and join us. Find out what your mission is and have fun while you do it. You can find me on Facebook, Gloria Jackson, and I want you to have fun while you get fit. Come join me.
Miss Gloria is awesome. Miss Sunshine Jackson, she is awesome. It is definitely an awesome workout, and I keep telling her I'm going to join her. I want to say it's almost like I don't want to call it a cult, but it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
It's a lifestyle,
for
and
sure.
as I recorded her for that commercial, and I'm working with her to do some fitness videos. But just as I was there with her and watching it every day and seeing what she does, I could see why it works. It's
Yeah.
very serious, and it's some sweating going on and water drinking and all that kind of good stuff. So Miss Gloria, I'm still coming. I'm just trying to get so unbusy. All right, so now we're gonna move into what's going on in sports in your town.
So in my town, I guess we'll just start off really quickly with the stuff that's not as important, like the Lakers being 0-5 in preseason. But like we said, we have 11 new players, and it's preseason, so we're kind of trying to work some of the stuff out. I have no doubt that we're going to be able to.
You got
So
my Mello. I love Carmelo Anthony. You got
yeah,
my Mello. So I just want you to do good for my Mello. I want him to have a good season, and I'm hoping I'm hoping that he has a really good season with the Lakers.
it's nice. It's nice, and having new players and younger players, it's going to be an
Mixing it up.
adjustment, but it's I mean, we have really good players, so I'm not too worried. But that's why I said I'll start with stuff not as important. I don't know which one to go with first, with more important in my world or more important in sports world, but I guess we'll go with more important in sports world.
Okay.
The Dodgers in my area,
Mhm.
they're going to a game 5 tonight, and I guess they're playing away, so they were here.
Mhm.
And I noticed by the traffic last night coming home from improv. So
The traffic
you
always
know,
tells it all.
exactly. And then so they're going to San Francisco, and they're playing game 5, which I don't know, mixed reviews. I guess a lot of people are saying that the Dodgers have the advantage. Because they're coming off a win, but then also a lot of people are saying it doesn't really momentum doesn't really matter in baseball as much. It's
Also,
more,
when you're going to the other field,
especially when you're going you're playing away, and
yeah,
it's it's not as important because it's mostly about who your starting pitcher is. Like, who do you have left? And last night, the how many players they went through? Or 8 pitchers. The Giants went through 8 pitchers.
Wow. Okay.
But their starting pitcher is going to be Logan Webb, who has done well and helped them win in the same series. So that is good for the Giants. With the Dodgers, like we said, but they also have done well up in San Francisco when they've played so far this season. So it's kind of anybody's game, and also, it's not. It's only game. There's only 5 games right now, not 7. So
Right.
So that takes some stuff into consideration. The Dodgers have been there before more, been in playoffs more recently, but the Giants can also.
The Giants.
I mean, they really have to
Yeah, the Giants have been there too, though. Yeah.
But they just not as much recently as the Dodgers have. Another kind of in baseball world, Houston eliminated the White Sox.
But is that your local sports?
That's not my local sport.
Oh no,
I was just saying,
local. What's going
really
on? Local. This is the local time.
That was all I was gonna go with.
Okay, so that's it for the local. So let me tell you my local then.
Okay, they're gonna play, but then my local, what's more important in my world, is the Chargers. So the Chargers are now 4-1.
That's your local.
So proud of them. With having Stanley as our new coach, I think we have made a lot better.
And don't you guys have Raheem, the coach that left from the Falcons? He's out there, and he's either the Chargers and the you guys do like the Giants and the Jets. It's 2 teams that share your stadium, right?
Oh no, we have the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah.
The Chargers and the Rams.
The Chargers and the Rams are at SoFi.
Right. So Raheem is out there, who was the interim coach here at Atlanta, who did really well, but now you guys have him.
Oh, nice.
So
I was with Chargers head coach, we got like a new one this year, Stanley, and he's making a lot better play calls. He's going for it on 4th down, which is like we've pretty much have like converted gotten a first down every time except for I think once this season by going for it on 4th down, which we would never have done last year. We're using timeouts better. Our kicking is still terrible. We have we are just like it has been like all we needed was an extra point to tie, and they missed it. And we missed it, and we missed the one I think before, and then we had to go for 2, and then we missed that one, and it was just like it's just an extra point, guys. Like it's not like we're trying to get a 61 yard field goal. Like we are just trying to get an extra point, and so that has been a struggle for us because obviously like when you think of like football, you think of 7 points for a touch. Well, obviously everyone thinks you get 6 points, but you think almost in your head that you're doing the math in the game moment. You're like, oh, we're gonna get it, but that's not what happened.
Not always the case.
And it's not even actually happening in the NFL. Like around the
there's been a lot of misses. There's been a lot of misses. Oh my God! Was it Sunday? Back to back, both teams kept missing the field goal. They kept missing. They kept going back and forth. So So now, what's you guys' record again? The Chargers record 4-1. Okay, so that is a good record. That is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are doing well. We beat the Chiefs, which they were supposed to be, top of our division for a while. We've beaten who do we next week? I think it's sorry, I don't have that down.
No, don't worry. Like I said, that's what we just talking about around town because that's what's going on now. I knew that there's things going on around town out there in LA where you are. So this is kind
Yeah.
of the around town part of it. And then even here in Atlanta, I've got some around town stuff to talk about.
Yeah. But so the
So
last thing was just we beat for in our division. I know we beat the Chiefs, we beat the
right,
Raiders, and it's
and
just
they're in
been
your division, right?
and it's just been so like
You
I
guys,
mean
you
nice
guys are
to
riding
see.
high right now.
And then Herbert's just amazing. We're so excited to have an amazing quarterback, and I
Yeah,
love him
yeah.
so much.
You guys have been trying to have a quarterback for a while. An
Yes,
amazing
yeah,
quarterback, I want to say.
yeah.
But very good.
Like one that kind of is like gonna be in they're predicting. We can't say right now, but Hall of Fame type
Yeah,
of
that's the
quarterback.
prediction for him. Okay, okay, all right.
I mean, I'll take it, even though this is just second year, but not a
Yeah,
big deal.
yeah. Well, good job on your around the town. So now around the town here in Atlanta, Atlanta's riding a real high right now. The Falcons won, the Hawks won, and the Braves won. That doesn't happen in Atlanta. Everybody won.
Everybody won.
Everybody won. So right now Atlanta's on a we have to enjoy it when it's there because it'll quickly disseminate. It'll just quickly go away. So right now everybody's celebrating. The Braves, they're on their way to the next round, and the Hawks are looking really good. And then
Oh,
the
Freddie
Falcons
Freeman.
won.
Freddie
Oh yeah,
Freeman.
love Freddie Freeman.
For the like he plays.
Love Freddie Freeman, yes.
He got that home run last night, I think, and that's what led you guys to win, which
Yeah.
is just like, and I feel
Freddie
like
Freeman's been the man for a while. He
everybody
is
loves him, and like
yeah.
seems like everyone says he's like a stand-up individual, and he's like somebody who your team would look up to. So I think that's all great things.
So well, basically, speaking of that, very recently I met some of the Braves at it was a fundraiser for Otis Nixon, who is a former Atlanta Brave. And then a lot of the other Braves came out, like Brian Jordan, and even some of the front office people. So I got to meet a couple of Braves and some of the front office people, and it was really, really awesome. They all presented themselves very top notch, and the fundraiser was awesome for Mr. Otis Nixon, which I'll be sharing that information with everybody really soon. But it was really, really good. So that's another thing around town that's going on for around town that was held here in Georgia. And I mean, when I tell you everyone came out to support Mr. Otis Nixon, I met Matumbo, Daryl Strawberry, Brian Jordan, Dale Davis, Charles Oakley, who I love. Yeah, Charles, I still love you from way back in my New York Knicks days. I love Charles Oakley, but he looks really good. Um, Always been a really sharp dresser too. When I tell you a lot of the players, and like I said, front office from the Braves, so many people came out to really support Mr. Nixon's program, and it helps people with drug abuse, homelessness, and also with the kids. He has a program where he's really trying to help turn around some of the incorrigible teens in the community and helping them to find a better direction in life, keeping them from getting incarcerated or going back. So it's a really awesome program, and that was really pretty much it. But it was awesome, and like I said, I'll be sharing that information with you guys. All right, we're gonna go to our next commercial, and then when we come back, we'll be getting ready for our quickies. Did that food not make you hungry?
So hungry. I was like, that looks.
Oh my God, doesn't it look amazing?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That food looks so amazing. So yeah, we're gonna have to have some shipped to Georgia. I know that it's in Texas right now. As a matter of fact, Felicia, they've got them right out there by where Felicia is, and I
Well,
got a
jealous.
chance to when I went to the New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons game. Mr. Scott, who is one of the owners of this company, sponsored my trip, and it was a really awesome trip. And so,
Oh yeah,
uh,
how was your trip?
oh my gosh, it was so awesome! It was awesome. I hadn't been to MetLife Stadium at all because the last time I had gone to a Giants game was their old stadium. So it was actually my first time in MetLife Stadium,
Nice.
which was really awesome. Beautiful facility. The tailgating was awesome as well. We had a really, really great time with the tailgating. And as I said, my hosts, which there was two companies, which was the Crab and Seafood Company, and Mr. Scott and Mr. Rodney Harrell, from Rodstar Enterprises. So together they came together to create this event, and it was really awesome. And then my special guest, which let me see if I can show you. Where is he at? Where is he? Where are you? Oh, he's over here. There he is, right there. That's Mr. Rodney Hampton. Rodney, what's up, Rodney Hampton? Rodney Hampton was there actually, awesome, also, and I got an interview with him, and it was so awesome to see. Now, I was a huge Giant fan, and I was in New York at the time when Rodney played. Before he got there, I mean, I watched his entire career, so it was really awesome to see him again. He looks really good, and just walking through the stadium with him, the fans were like, oh, they would run up to him. He took pictures, he signed autographs. Really, really gracious guy, and a really stand-up guy. And the one thing I've always admired about the New York Giants organization, as an organization, they really look out for their players, the ones playing now and then playing in the past. So they welcomed Rodney in there as if he was still on the team. And he walked in there and he walked through the stadium and he greeted the fans and he took pictures and he did all of that. So big up to you, Mr. Rodney Hampton. Thank you so much for my interview. And thank you, Rodney Harrell, and also Mr. Scott, for helping to set that up for me. And also I have to thank Miss Angela Johnson, which brought me together with the rest of them. So it was a really, really awesome time. And like I said, I did a show on it, so you can catch that on YouTube, and you'll see my interview with Mr. Rodney Hampton, and he talks about a lot of things that he's working on and working with the kids. So next up, we're going to get ready for our sports quickie.
Is anyone up for a quickie? A sports quickie.
All right, Lindsay Lane, what do you have for your sports quickie for this week?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna go with probably one of the biggest stories, which is Kyrie Irving. The Nets are not allowing him to just play away games anymore, and in New York City, it's mandate for you to have a COVID vaccine to be playing inside a stadium. So there's been a lot of back and forth over this issue, but there's a couple of things that I would like to just point out that other people have said, like Stephen A. Smith had called it pretty much the stupidest nonsense he has ever seen after Kyrie said that he doesn't want to take the vaccination because he wants to be a voice for the voiceless, meaning that he wants to give a voice to people who are losing their jobs vaccinated over vaccine mandates, which which I heard with a lot of good points. A lot of them being first, that anti-vaxxers aren't the voiceless. If you want to go and see how big a voice they have, go click on Twitter, go anywhere. It's not like they're undeveloped, underserved population. Right. It's not like they have something that is they're being it's being targeted because of race, because of prejudice, any type of stuff like that, things that are out of someone's control. This is within their control. Their employers are asking them to get vaccinated. This is a choice. Vaccines in the United States are free and they're available to everyone. So that isn't the same as people are kind of comparing it to like taking a knee. And that isn't the same thing at all. It's not. It's not, because this isn't something that, I mean, a lot of people are saying that it's not something that's similar, that you can't really compare the two. Another thing that I was basically, when he says he wants to be a voice for the voiceless, is that he needs to speak up if he wants to be a voice for the voiceless. He hasn't come out really and said that. He hasn't been vocal about that. He basically has said he has no problem with the vaccine. So you're saying that you don't have a problem with the vaccine, but you just want to be a voice for the voices. Well, you have to be in the NBA to have a platform that people want to listen to. If we can't even trust you to do your job, which is you signed with the Nets, like you decided to go to Brooklyn. You asked Kevin Durant, you asked James Harden, you asked them to go and play with you because you want to build a legacy, and you're not even upholding your side of that. Like you, and I think the best thing that I heard was like Jay Williams, what he said, that was when he was talking about like Kyrie wanting to go to the Brooklyn Nets to like be remembered and to build a legacy. And he said back in the 2016 NBA Finals, when he scored, or when he hit a 3-point shot against the Golden State Warriors to win the first championship for NBA championship for Cleveland against the Golden State Warriors, that was the shot that he took. And people are saying that, or he was saying that he remembered him for that shot up until now, when he's going to now be remembered for the shot he didn't take. So I think that the way he said that and where it was coming from was a really good point, is that if you want to have a voice, then you have to be somebody who's worth respecting, and being respected means to hold up basically your side of the bargain of things. Like, and also, you know, you want to have the voice for the voiceless. What about the people who died from COVID? They don't have voices. So there's so much that goes into this. And when you don't come out with a strong stance about this, when you're kind of been wishy-washy about it, when you haven't really come out and said, you know, if I'm a voice for the voiceless and I want this to be my thing, then I'm going to tell you I'm not taking the vaccine because of this reason. But that's not what you're doing. And for all of us to be guessing, like, I'm totally on the side of, if you want to be that type of person, like, you need to one, come out and say it, and two, you need to be somebody that, like, worth like listening to. Like, and if you want to lose all of this because of this decision, like, make it be yours. Like, make it be a Kaepernick thing. Like, he went all the way. He did not back down. He's saying, and he came out for that is the reason why. Straight up, no one was confused on the matter. And this is just so, I don't know, it kind of seems like a lot of people as a whole just don't want to be told what to do. They just don't want somebody to come out and say, you need to take the vaccine, and you're going to say, I don't want you to tell me what to do. And there we are. So it's like,
it's not, you don't feel like it's anything to do with being a voice for the voiceless, because as you're saying, he hasn't come out and voiced anything.
no,
And
he
he's
hasn't.
not
He hasn't.
standing up and being a voice for them. So I mean, I understand what you're saying, and you know, he's never been a very voice person. He doesn't talk a lot anyway, so it is very difficult to be a voice for the voiceless. And then, and like you said, with Colin Kaepernick, everyone knows the situation, and yeah, he made a decision. He stood by it till the end, and then
And that was something that, like, the people he was representing
had no voice.
And they were people who were like, it was worth like standing up for, because there was no decision. They couldn't decide. There was no like I decide not to be targeted by, you know, police officers and that type of stuff. Like it wasn't a decision. Like this is a decision that $1 billion industry business. This is a business at the end of the day. And people are like, well, how did they play before the vaccine? Well, they physically can play. That isn't the issue. The issue is these coaches and these owners and the NBA that are going to be losing so much money when people go out with COVID,
which they've already done.
No, exactly.
They've
And they're
already
saying,
done. And let me just go back and say, not that those people that Colin Kaepernick stood up for, not that they were voiceless out there, because they did have a lot of people backing them up. However, Colin Kaepernick decided to join the fight.
Yeah,
He
it's not like that
joined.
was the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
He joined the fight, but he stood up for the fight.
Yeah.
He spoke out for the fight. He showed that he meant what he said, and he showed his, you know, he showed his voice. So I do understand that.
So long for people to even realize it, and it took pretty much until like the summer, I think 2020, to like people to be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Like,
you're exactly correct. People just didn't get it right away. They're like, okay, he's just being a jerk.
Yeah.
And
Like,
also, people said what you
jerk.
said. He just don't want people telling him what to do. You know, people just want to do what they want to do. But until people learned more about what was going on and why he stood up for it and the things that happened to those people, I don't know if you know or if you followed any part of it. When I think of the Breonna Taylor story, that one, George Floyd, we all saw that on national TV.
Yeah.
But even before George Floyd, the Breonna Taylor story was so horrific. Imagine being at home in your bed, sleeping and minding your business and getting shot up by the police. And then they go, oh, my bad.
And then,
we had the wrong
and then your
house.
boyfriend's the one that goes to jail. Like,
because he thinks that someone's trying to break in on them because they did not identify themselves. And if they did, if I'm damn asleep, I don't hear you outside my house talking. So all of that was such a big disaster.
There was zero reason for be there.
Zero reason. And then here you are. Like I said, my bad. I'm sorry. You know what? We shot up your girlfriend. Well, you know what? We thought you was trying to kill us. We was trying to kill you because we thought you was somebody else. And you know what? Let's just lay it all down and my bad, and just go home. And we're gonna go home, and her mama's gonna bury her. And let's just forget about it. That's exactly how it happens.
It was one dude with one gun who didn't even hit the dude barely, and these people are shooting. The police are shooting.
Shot up the house. They shot up the house. Shot up the house. They just shot up the house because you know what? But that is, and I'm glad you understand that, and I'm glad you kind of bring that out because that is the problem. They're not the first ones. They're not the only ones.
And
there's been
the
so many. And then what happens in the police department, unfortunately, they always find a way to rectify their wrongs, like they did with Breonna Taylor. Before George Floyd, they'd already gotten away with that.
Do you know how much it took to even get away with how many details that trial needed for them to even convict Chauvin on those charges for George Floyd? They had to have all these experts. They had to have all this and it had to be on the screen constantly to even have him go to jail for what he did.
But the thing about it is, what did he do? They said they think he had a counterfeit $20 bill.
Yeah, they think.
They think that now I know you go to the store and if a person goes like this and like this with a $20 bill, really, are you really sure? Because the guy said he didn't have any way to really check it.
Yeah,
it just looked a little different. I remember the first time I saw the big face 20s when they first came out. I'd never seen one before. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, what is this? That's not real. I didn't know it was real. Didn't even know they were coming out. So here was a young person, which to this day, that young man has said he hates to even call the police on him for that.
That's what I was going to say. He showed more remorse for calling the police than the police officers did when all of them were on him when they were killing him.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Correct. And then the Breonna Taylor one is just oh my God, that one.
That is horrific. It's horrific. And no one was charged. It was just a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, he shot at us first. We had to defend ourselves. And my bad.
Yeah, we just all had to just light up the house.
But I'm also pointing that out to say that is kind of why Kyrie is doing what he's doing, because in so many instances, that's what has happened. The will of the world has been imposed or forced on the African American community. Now, I don't at this point, Kyrie, as much as I love you, and I love Kyrie, my family will tell you,
He's
people who
great.
know me and my sports love, I love my Kyrie. You know, I got a nickname for everybody I love. That's my Kyrie, and I love him. But in this case, I've been around people. Got a funeral to go to this weekend. I have a family member who died of COVID because they did not get vaccinated. I just had a friend who just got out of the hospital because they did not get vaccinated. I have a family, the whole family caught it because one of the kids brought it home from school and brought it home and gave it to everybody. Now, mom and dad can't go to work, kids can't go to school because guess what? Mom and dad decided they did not want that vaccination. So I understand, like you said, this is a business. And if I own a company, it is my prerogative to say whether or not my company employees will get vaccinated or not. And what'll happen is if I decide as a company owner, which the NFL has done as an organization and all the owners, the NFL didn't just do this. They sat down with the owners and said, how do we want to move forward? So the owners helped to make these decisions as well.
And it's
And they
about
decided
safety. Yeah.
and decided it would be for the safety of our community, our teams, our players, our staff members, and our fans if we would get vaccinated. And that's the decision that they made. Now, Kyrie is entitled to his own opinion and he's entitled to his own body because, you know, Cam Newton is going through the same thing. They're saying that that's why no one has picked Cam up because Cam had refused the vaccination as well. Now, in Cam's situation and also in Kyrie's situation too, now it's the season now. You're going to get your shot, your arm going to hurt. So even if Cam or even if either one of them gets it now, if that's she's got to get it not on the shooting arm or not on his throwing or whatever. Now there's so much more that's going to go on that they have to consider, which if they would have gotten it in the off season when everybody else got it, they would be well for whatever. Here's the other thing. While I was in New Jersey, I went to New York City. And in the state of New York, you cannot go inside of a restaurant, period, without showing your vaccination card. Now, guess what? It is mandated by the state because you
Yeah,
know
that's what it is.
when COVID hit, New York City was ground zero.
Exactly.
They
So
had
they
a
saw enough people
makeshift
die.
morgue that was tractor trailers were parked outside the hospital turned into morgues because they had that many deaths. So yes, are they going to the extreme? Yes, they're going to the extreme.
San
So
Francisco's doing it too. But it's
see,
like
but we
close
get it.
people.
We get it. If I go into a restaurant, you know, which, you know, and the same thing when COVID hit here, there was a funeral, and a lot of people went to this funeral. Well, someone at the funeral was a super spreader. So you're in this church and you're hugging and you're saying your goodbyes and you're talking to a week later, 30 people from the funeral came down with COVID and some of them died. So now understanding the locker room situation, the close proximity of people, they're bumping and breathing and sweating and bleeding all on each other, playing basketball, and the people with the vaccination, the team members with the vaccination and the coaches and everybody, they're feeling like, well, at least we got something in our system to help us prevent from becoming a super spreader and to help us from getting deathly ill and dying. But we have this person over here who doesn't want to take the vaccination, who can now become a super spreader and now get it and give it to everybody, make everybody sick. And now we got to shut our team down. Now we lose the millions, we lose the fans because, well, it's. I guess you know by now that it's a war he's going to lose.
And
Like I
it's
said,
all about like, and I don't want to
war
push
he's gonna lose.
my what my personal beliefs are onto other people because I have
Right.
best friends who have family members who
Who are not
I can
vaccinated.
tell you have never been said no to in their life, as in like nothing's wrong on their end of like it's not like they've been going through anything serious. They just don't want the vaccine. They just don't want people to tell them what to do. And it's like, okay, well, I've had to stop talking to them about it. Like I still talk to them because I don't feel like I'm going to just shut out everybody who I disagree with.
But you're not going to have the conversation anymore.
But I don't want to have a conversation about it. And then so I totally understand it that way. But I think that like when you're talking about something that's like for the greater good of your teammates, of your office, the people who you share an office with, especially with the team, though, you're so close. You're so like need to depend on each other. Like
everything.
yeah.
You're breathing on them. You're sweating. You're
breathing on. You're sweating. Yeah, you're like you're sharing all this like
space.
Stuff. Yes, there's space. You're so close. Like I played volleyball. You're all really close. You should have your lockers right here next to somebody, and so it's just.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. A player of his status, which of course the fans are going to want to see, but of course, this is different. This is safety. We're talking safety right now. We're talking lives. We're talking death and dying. We're not just talking about, hey, I don't want to wear deodorant.
Exactly.
It's not going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
This is a lot more serious than that.
They're talking about the health of people there. Like, if you had something else that you could pass on to your teammates, I would expect you to be like, no, I'm not coming in because I have like a contagious like flu and you're gonna get everybody sick. Like it's just public health kind of like respect for your teammates, love for your teammates. Like you want to feel that your teammates love you, like you care for you, have your back. Like I have your back, you have my back. Like we're a team, we're in this together. And it's kind of like that whole team in this together thing kind of shatters when you have teammates that aren't going to do it, and they're not even saying that they have an issue with the vaccine at all. That's not even the reason.
Well, there's something. There's a reason.
Well, if he wants to have a voice, he needs to stay in the NFL or an NBA and have a voice. Like he needs to stay in the NBA and have
he can't. He's not going to be able to, because here's the thing. As I told you, in the state of New York, in order to come into a place of close proximity, which is going to be the same thing with the games, you have to show you're vaccinated.
Well, that's why he's benched for now on on the team, because
and like I said, unfortunately, because there was so much death and so much dying, so much sickness, it's not a stance that he's going to win. They will sacrifice losing him for the season. For the
and that's
safety.
Not fair to like who he brought on the team with him to like help him build him build the his like KD and and James Harden, like you asked them to come. They're your like
to help you
had to help you build your legacy, and you're pretty much bailing on them. Like, is that okay? You're the one. He decided to sign the contract. He was a free agent, decided to go to the Brooklyn Nets. No one said you have to go. Like we're not. He wasn't drafted.
They came there to support him. They came to support him.
Millions of dollars. Like since he started playing, hundreds of millions of dollars on the back of the NBA, and you are deciding to do this. It's just like that's not only not fair to your team, but the players you just mentioned, and the safety, but like you, if as a person, like who do you want? You want to build a legacy? This isn't the way to do it. To not take a shot.
This is going to be part of it. It's going to be part of his legacy. Whether he plays this season or not is going to be part of his legacy. But like I said, for health and safety reasons, this is not a war he's going to win. And like I said, you got the entire state, not just the city. You got the state saying you can't come in here without a vaccination. The governor, it's been mandated by the governor and by the state. He can't even go out to eat at a restaurant in New York right now.
Yeah,
you have to show it. And I was surprised. I was shocked because that's not like that here in Atlanta. You can go wherever you want to go. But I'm vaccinated, have my card, and I have a copy on my phone. But I was just shocked to walk up to a restaurant and there's the big sign: you must present proof of vaccination before you can come into this establishment.
That's
Thank
about
you very much.
Concerts by me. We all have to show our vaccine card.
Yeah, but I can't be mad at that. I want to be safe at a concert. I want to be safe at a basketball game.
People are screaming and like yelling and singing along. Like that's gonna
spewing out stuff.
and as safe as possible. People you can still transmit. That's not even a point I won't even bring up because there's too much to go into. But I'm just saying that it's safer with this and wearing a mask. And why wouldn't you just want to make people safe.
Well,
That's
once again, like I said, they're saying that's pretty much why Cam Newton is sidelined as well. We're in week 5, going into week 6 of the NFL, and he's still not on a team. Good, good all pro athlete. There's some teams that need some help in the quarterback area, but they're not looking his direction for that reason. Because if the owners and the establishment if they have a team that's 100% vaccinated, do you think that they're going to risk anyone's? Because like, you know what, I thought you said we all had to be 100% vaccinated. Now you bringing this guy in here, he not even vaccinated. Excuse you, it ain't gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's not gonna happen.
No,
It's not gonna
because
happen.
people have decided to get it after saying no, but then they're like, fine, I'll do it because I don't want to lose my
Job, my
huge,
career.
huge like paycheck, my career, my job.
My
'Cause
friend,
there's
the guy that
always
got sick and was in the hospital and was so grateful that they didn't die. And afterwards, it was like, okay, when can I get the shot? Because I never want this again. Don't know how they got it. Don't know where it came from. Somebody brought it into the house. Now, keep this. You got a family of 7, right? You got a mother, father, and their children, granddad, right? The mother, father, and granddad vaccinated. I'm sorry, grandma and sister not vaccinated, and then the 2, 3 kids. They all get together and they have an event. The 2 non-vaccinated people got sick. The vaccinated people didn't even have a cough. Nothing. But they all went to the same event. They went to the same place. But only the 2 non-vaccinated people got ill. That's proof enough of how this works. Now, one of the people who got vaccinated is a high-risk person, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of the things that they say that you shouldn't have and that will kill you. They never caught anything, never even caught a whiff. They were fine. So that's proof enough. Well, thanks for that story. And like I said, I'm sorry about, you know, like Kyrie's one of my favorite players. I love him, and I'm just hoping that for whatever reason he's doing this, I hope some good comes out of it. I hope some good comes out of it. I want to wish that for him because I like him as a player, and I'd like to know that I like him as a person. I don't know him personally, but I'm always thought he was a pretty cool person. Seemed like so. I want to say I hope something good comes out of this for him, and I
it's
know the
also
team
not an
gonna be
attack on
okay.
him.
Look, I know the team gonna be okay. I ain't worried about that. Team is gonna
Yeah.
be fine. With or without him, they're going to be fine. Unfortunately, I know that they're going to be fine. But we're going to go to our last break before I do my sports quickie, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I absolutely love that beat. It's just too funky. It's too hard. It may be too hard for that commercial, but I just love that beat. Um, anyway, so my sports quickie, I want to talk about Evander Holyfield. Very recently, Evander Holyfield, which is one of our Georgia guys, um, Evander Holyfield, who was at the time 58 years old, he decided to go into this exhibition fight with a former, no, he's not MMA fighter. Um, I got to get his name right. I don't want to say it wrong. Victor Belfort. Okay. Who's 44. He was 44. Evander was 58. They had an exhibition fight. From the beginning of the fight, this guy came out and he was killing Evander Holyfield. And that's not something we were used to seeing with Evander Holyfield, who's an Olympian, 5-time heavyweight champion of the world, boxer that we knew, a gold medalist, everything. But he was no match for this young man, this fighter. And at one time, and if you saw the fight, Evander swung so hard he knocked himself down. He was trying to go ahead and knock him out and get it over with because the guy was really, like I said, getting him from the beginning of the fight. The fight only lasted a minute. I think it was around a minute and 49 seconds, because right from the beginning he was killing Evander. Evander tried to, position himself to just protect himself. But I know, if you know the fight game, when so many blows come out and none are given back, at some point the referee will come in and stop it. Well, when he swung one time, he knocked himself down, and then another time the guy hit him and he tripped and he fell. So it was never an official knockout. He lost by a TKO, but the fight only lasted a minute and 49 seconds, and that was all the damage being done right at that point. So when Evander Holyfield was asked, what happened and everything, he said this guy was just too fast. He was just too fast, and the fight was so fast, and it just was happening. I don't take anything away from him. He did what he had to do, and that's that. And they asked him if he would do it again. He said, I would probably fight an exhibition fight or something again. He said, but this just was not what I expected. And I didn't expect to, of course, lose, and especially not that way. So he was a gracious loser. But he did compliment the guy on his fight game. He said he was just so fast and so strong, and he won fair and square. Now, I don't know if you saw that fight or not, but if you didn't, they have clips of it on YouTube, and you'll see. Belfort, when I tell you, he was just he was all over Evander Holyfield. But like I said, I've always very quick, very quick.
One of those that you like. I know there's some sports you can continue to play like later on. Like that one's just one that you have to be quick. You have to have quick reflexes. You have to be on like the top of your game to compete, and like you're getting hit as well, so you're there's a lot of different parts to it, and you're not the same as you were when you're younger.
No.
And it's not that you can't still do it. I don't want to take that away from anybody who wants to continue.
Because he looked good. Evander looked really good.
Do that, but it's like it's just one of those sports where like it is a billion times harder when you get older. It's just you have to have quick reflex. You have to have quick you have the instincts, but the reflexes just get slower. Period. That's just for everybody, Just
and
what
Belfort,
happens.
he was a former UFC fighter, and he was a champion. He was UFC champion, and he went into the boxing ring with Evander Holyfield. So I imagine if he fights anybody like Mike Tyson, you better hurry up and win before they win, because that's what it seemed like. He was
Even me, like I'm just like I would go in the ring, but I would just have to swing once, and if I don't get you, I'm just bailing. Like that's it. Like I'm just whatever move I can get out of the ring as quickly as possible. I'm good, but like I'll just go swing once and bail. Like if I don't knock you out, then I'll take the she walked off thing, because like
you know what? And the other thing I saw is, as I told you, he swung so hard. Evander swung so hard one time he knocked himself down, went hanging out the ring and everything, and it was like, oh. It wasn't a knockout. The guy didn't hit Evander. Evander swung and hit the guy so hard that he just knocked himself out the ring almost. But the other problem with that is once he did get up and the fight did get started again and the guy came at him, it appeared that Evander couldn't get his footing back. He just never, as a boxer, because you've taken boxing, you know that your footing is very important.
Yeah.
So if you watch that fight and if you see it, you'll notice Evander never gets his footing right. He never, once he falls the first time and tries to come back in, and then he falls the second time, it's almost, he just couldn't get his footing. And I'm looking at him like, what is wrong with your feet? What's wrong with your legs? You're not standing upright.
Yeah.
But that's what it seemed like it happened. So Evander, we want to say good job in getting in the ring at 58, and even attempt, and he did physically, he looked good. But Belfort,
you can look good. It's just
looked good.
The hard part is Belfort at 44,
he was fighting like a 34-year-old.
Can I just like even mention something that like that's
Go ahead.
crazy that I heard about? It's just even like they have these big events for like people who like play video games. I think there's like some for
Yes.
like I don't know, this just video games. Let's just go with that.
I
And
know what you're talking about.
they say that the littler kids, that's why they're better. Like when you get to 18, 19, in their 20s, they're like strategy might be better, but the littler kids are better because they have faster reflexes.
The little reflexes and the mobility.
Little
They're doing
reflexes
it.
are quicker. And that's like just I think with like everything, it's not just like boxing, like you can't do it because you're a boxer. I know it's a ridiculous comparison, but just when I heard about the reflex thing in general, when it comes to like, that's why the little like 12-year-olds are so much better. It is like that, those extra like 0.00000 seconds count. And that actually counts in boxing too, because it's so quick. It is so quick. Like boxing, like you could get I mean, at least like in other sports, like you either have like teammates or you have just some other, like you have a little bit more time. Like boxing, you get boom, that's it. Like those extra milliseconds count. So
right. Well, like I said, even if you watch any of the highlights of that fight, as I said, you'll see that Evander Holyfield does not get his footing. He does not have his footing right. And like I said, that one punch he threw so hard, he knocked himself off the ring. I'm like, oh my God. But it was supposedly an exhibition fight, so I guess they made money for whatever they were raising the money for, and they did that, and we'll just have to take it. And it doesn't go against his record because it wasn't a pro fight, so it doesn't affect his record. Which his record, it's always been outstanding. He's had a great, like I said, 5 times, the only 5-time heavyweight champion, 5-time heavyweight. And he's the only 5-time, and with his gold medals and everything else. So, but that was my story that was my sports quickie for today. I wanted to talk about the Holyfield fight, and we hadn't been back together to talk about it.
Yeah.
I know Mike Tyson is talking about getting back into the ring, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. We're gonna wish Kyrie well. We're gonna hope that's going to, like I said, work in his favor. Coming up next for the NFL. Now your Rams are doing good, as I said. Our Falcons, they won last week.
Chargers.
Yeah.
They're doing well.
And my oh my God, I'm kind of all over the place. I watch the Falcons and I love my Giants. I am a all-time Giants fan. That's my team. And oh my God, Saquon got hurt the other day, and oh my God, I felt it all the way in Georgia. Saquon. I was watching the game, and he almost turned both his ankles. He turned one really bad, and then with stepping on the other opponent, but then he almost turned his other one on his own. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? So in that one game, they lost both their best players. They lost their quarterback and they lost their running back. So they lost their best 2 players in the last game that they played. So we'll see. I know the quarterback has to go through the concussion protocol, because he took a blow to the head. But Saquon, those ankles, they said it looked like it was just a sprain. So I'm hoping that they both can come back. We'll see how your Chargers do this week. Who are they playing this week?
I think what did I say, Falcons? I don't know.
Is it the Falcons? Not the Falcons.
I mean, not the Falcons. I was gonna say, what did I say? Ravens. Ravens, I think.
Oh, now that's gonna be a good one. Lamar Jackson is something else. And then last Sunday's game, oh my God, there was so many overtimes and so many field goals and so many missed field goals. There was a lot of that last week. So, we're going to see what's happening starting on Thursday night game this week. And the Falcons were in London. Maybe they need to go play across the pond a few more times. That's when they won. They were in London, and they looked really, really good. And they have a new coach as well, and a lot of new players. So they got to turn it all around. We're going to thank you guys for watching Ladies in the Locker Room, and continue to follow us on, Ladies in the Locker Room on YouTube and also on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. And Lindsay, thank you so much. I will see you next week.
Sounds great.
Well, good. Have a great week. And do good at your improv. Break a leg, as they always say.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.